Brought to you by Sip for Your Cause.
Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk Nonprofits, an online television program produced by the BizLinks TV network to provide a forum for nonprofit organizations to gain awareness, funding, sustainability, and ultimately impact. We're excited to have today with us the founder and CEO of Every Woman Works, Ms. Tillie. Ms. Tillie, welcome.
Well, you know, not only am I excited, I'm honored to be here. That you've given me an opportunity to express to your radio audience how grateful I am to be the voice of the women that we serve. Because ordinarily they would never hear them, never hear their story. So thank you for that opportunity.
Well, thank you for accepting our invitation. And that is truly the purpose behind this platform, is to give voice to leaders such as yourself, so that people can know the great work that you're doing in the community. Because otherwise, you're absolutely right, you will continue to do those great things, but very few people will know about it. So we welcome you to Let's Talk Nonprofits to share. So before we get into Every Woman Works, we want to know about the lady behind the name. Just Miss Tillie. Tell us about Miss Tillie. Who is she?
Well, I can tell you that I've had 36 years of corporate experience. During that interim, everything that I have learned, every experience that I've had, is preparing me to do the work that I do today. And I'm saying that because the women that I represent are single parents, and they're struggling, trying to make ends meet. And I've been there, and I've done that. And also trying to climb the corporate ladder as far as a career is concerned. There was no mentor, no someone to coach to tell you what you need to do. So I feel that all of the experience that I've had and the life challenges that I've had, I'm the perfect one that God selected to help the women to move from dependency to self-sufficiency. So after 36 years of corporate, I felt like I wanted to do something to leave a legacy.
Yes.
I wanted to do something to feel like that I made a difference, and that one life, if you would can breathe easier because I've lived. So I got this epiphany that I could help women, particularly women with children, to move from dependency to self-sufficiency. And how to do that was to teach them principles, life principles that are timeless and self-evident. Then someone would say, well, where are these principles? Where do they come from? They come from God. So we're faith-based.
I see. And in fact, I appreciate the fact that you experienced some, from what I've researched, you've experienced some significant level of success in corporate America. And for you to take that opportunity, to take that experience and deposit it into others. And I'm going to be a little more, I'm just going to put it out there.
Okay.
But you're depositing into others who might not even have an inkling about what the corporate environment is about. Would I be accurate with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is you're bringing to a sector of our population an experience and exposure that you have that will now give them a glimpse of what you experienced, but to show them how they can also.
Exactly.
So is that what Every Woman Works
Every
is about?
Woman Works will be, we're about having a transformation, a transformation mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically. So transforming the mind, because when you come and they're feeling like they're a victim, they first have to accept the fact that they made some choices that choose the situation, and therefore they have to take responsibility for where they are. And if you can take the responsibility and say that I made some choices to be here, then I can make some choices to change. So what I think the philosophy that we use at Every Woman Works is the fact that if you can conceive it in your mind, you can achieve it. So we're really big on transforming the mind.
You know, I had the privilege of going to your location, and I tell you, first of all, you are truly blessed. They are truly blessed. That community is blessed by you being there. Just one from you, but your staff. Your staff is a great group of ladies who really create a surge of energy and synergy with one another that I know you guys are doing great things. I really want to ask you this question. I know that our audience members may be looking at you and saying, Well, she has that yellow and black on, and then this little bumblebee right here. So tell us, because the bee is your logo and your symbol. So tell us why the bee.
When I received the epiphany or the vision to start this not-for-profit to help move women from dependency to self-sufficiency,
Yes, ma'am.
one of the things that happens is that coming up in corporate, there are certain behaviors or characteristics that you must demonstrate in order to get promoted or to keep the job.
Yes.
So anyone can get a job, but there are certain behaviors that you need to demonstrate in order to keep it, like being on time and treating the customers with respect and being there. So anyway, so there's a transformation that needs to take place in the women that we serve because they have not been socialized that way. They've not been taught that.
Yeah.
And so one of the easiest way that the tool that I was given was using the bumblebee as our mascot. And aerodynamically coming out of engineering, aerodynamically the bumblebee should not be able to fly because her body is too big and her wings are too small. But no one told her that she could not fly. So therefore, she moves these wings at bullet speed and she flies. And so the women that we serve are told what they cannot do. They're told what they cannot be. They're told their futures predicted. And they've been scripted and programmed. And I say to them, through the work that we teach, you are the programmer of your life. If you don't like the program, you can change it. And more importantly, you can write the program because we teach them about vision, mission, and purpose.
Let me share with you. We often say, and our purpose for this show is to bring out those best practices so that nonprofits can hear it and apply it to their particular operation. Excuse me, if they're not currently implementing them. But your vision or your mission or your target group, your client reach may not be the demographics or the persona that you just heard described by Ms. Tillie and hers. But I would assure you that what she just described is applicable to what you're doing and your target.
Yes.
What I just heard you say in summary, that bee, I'm in physics.
Okay, all right, okay.
That bee should not be able to fly aerodynamic.
Impossible.
But nobody told her.
Impossible does not mean improbable. And impossible does not mean impossible. Improbable does not mean impossible.
Yes. And the thing that I hear her say, and I'm asking you to please apply it where you're working with your staff,
Yes.
whether you're working with yourself,
Yes.
whether you're working on
Yes.
strategic plans trying to
Yes.
accomplish something that other people say is impossible.
Yes.
You know, she said that nobody told the bee
Yes.
that it could not fly, and therefore it does everything within its might to make it happen. I tell you, if you never opened your mouth to say another word, Miss Tillie, you've given us enough to walk away. But we want to hear the rest of what you have to say. So that is why the bee is there, and that's why the colors. I love your branding of yourself. Every time I see you, you are branded with your...
But coming out of corporate, there are a lot of things that they taught us well.
Yeah,
you know,
I can
and
see.
if you would apply a lot of the principles and a lot of the practices, you can be very successful.
I'm going to interrupt you there. Often you hear me talk on this show and reminding the leaders of nonprofits that you are a business.
Yes.
As much as nonprofits don't want to say that or accept that or even look at it as it's something negative, you are a business. And what I've just heard you say, you've taken the principles that you learned in corporate America and have brought them to your operation, your organization, and that's what you're seeing. And you were speaking to the fact that the branding that you learned, those skills of branding, is what you've applied to every woman works.
But not only that, it's been my experience that there's somewhat of a scarcity mentality in not-for-profits. And see, coming from corporate, there's enough out there for everyone because you go into business to meet a need, and the need that we serve in the not-for-profit community
Yes.
is great and
Yes.
abundant. And so I just really believe that we have to change the way we see not-for-profits. I don't even like the terminology not-for-profit. How can you have a successful
Right.
business and not make a
Yes.
profit? And the other thing is everyone wants to go out and start a not-for-profit. And what my message is that you don't have to go out to start a not-for-profit if you want to serve homeless veterans, you want to serve TANF recipients, partners against domestic violence, women who have been severely abused, women who are in recovery program, and most importantly, we have some displaced professionals out there that have lost their job because of the economy, and they need resume writing skills,
Yes.
computer skills. So you don't have to start a not-for-profit. What you can do is come and join us. You know, we need help. I only have about 8 paid staff. All of the 25, 30, or 40 people that help us to be successful, meaning 98% of the people that we serve, they become employed. And 75% of them retain employment. And that is because anyone can get a job. And one of my students told me a job means just over broke.
That's it.
But not everyone can make a career.
You're right.
No, and so I'm just saying that you don't have to start a not-for-profit, that you can come and work alongside the not-for-profits that are there, need partners. We need the resources of money and your time to come and help train the women and help to mentor the women. Because if women would come to this program, professional women, and tell about their struggle and how they
Yeah.
made it, you know, that's more of a success story than Miss Tillie's standing there saying, well, let me just tell you, you need to be at work on time, you need to come here, you need to
Right.
dress for success,
Right.
you need to be professional, you need to create a professional image.
I'm going to tell you, Ms. Tillie, I need to have her right beside me, just right here on my shoulder, because she is really repeating what we share with you here on Let's Talk Nonprofits. You're absolutely right, Ms. Tillie. So many people in organizations or people they have a desire. They,
Yes.
for whatever, they've gone through an experience themselves, or they've observed an experience, and so they want to make a difference. But I tell you, I've talked with many leaders in the nonprofit sector, those thought leaders and all, and you hear time and time again that, first of all, there's so many out there
Yes.
that
Yes.
they're all draining the small resource
Yeah, we're-
that's available out there. And if they
And competing.
yes,
Competing with the resources.
that's right.
Yes.
That's exactly it. And
Yes.
if they would just align
Yes.
with organizations, with their goals, there's more than enough. And so my wife and I, we talk about that often. And when we hear people talking about, oh, they want to start this and that,
Yes.
if we're aware of one, we say, instead of that, why don't you give them a call?
Exactly.
Find out how you can get started.
Exactly.
And right now, because you tapped on it, and we're going to come back to it in more detail, but tell them how can they get involved with Every Woman Works as a volunteer.
You know, we have sponsorship because a lot of the women that we serve cannot afford to pay the tuition, and we've not ever, in the 10 years that we've been open to serve the women,
Yeah.
we have never turned anyone down. And that's because we have partners out there that sponsor the women. So if you identify with a woman in recovery, if you identify with a veteran, a homeless veteran, if you identify with a woman who's been severely abused and need to find herself again, or if you can identify with a displaced a woman that just lost her job, you can support that person through coming alongside us, working through a scholarship, or even coming and getting involved as a volunteer to utilize your skills and talents to make it work.
Well, let me tell you, I would tell you, you've heard how you can get involved, and we will revisit that before the end of the program. But I want to tell you that Pam, my wife, we had the opportunity to go out and spend some time.
Yes.
If you go and volunteer, I don't know what might be in your minds or in your vision or thought of what you might be going to, but let me tell you something. You will be going to a place that you feel like you're in corporate America. The
yeah,
building
yeah.
is just magnificent.
Yeah.
The staff, professional.
Yes.
It is a great working
Yeah.
environment.
I do have to acknowledge
Yeah.
some, because see, we could not have made that happen on our own.
Okay.
We had to have companies like Keller Williams.
Okay.
We had to have companies like GE and Kimberly Clark and LexisNexis. We have to have companies and individuals to come alongside us to make that happen. So, you know, we just couldn't do it without the public, without individual contributors wanting to come to, like you and Pam, coming to want us to move to the 21st century in our technology and
Yes.
communication efforts. We just could not do that without the support of companies and organizations.
Well, let me
like
tell you,
yours.
we're going to get into that a little deeper after the break. We're going to talk about her supporters because, you know, the reason I start this program off every viewing is with a person telling you who they are. Because one, we want you to truly understand that they're ordinary people.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
They are ordinary
Yes.
people who have accepted a large calling. So in other words, I want you to understand that you can do whatever it is that you've been called to do. You don't have to think you're extraordinary.
Exactly.
Okay? So that's the first thing. But you hear she's not doing it alone. She's put effort into getting corporate sponsors. She's gotten effort in getting people to buy into her vision and has a great
Yes.
staff that's making that vision a
Yes.
reality.
And
So
great board of directors also. I mean, you just can't be successful in a vacuum.
Yes.
It takes a community or city, you
Yes,
know,
yes,
or even
ma'am.
a state, you know,
Yes.
and all of the sponsors of people that funds, that
Yes.
send funds in to help us. You just can't do it in a vacuum. And it's relational.
Yes.
It's about relationships, you know, and you got to be able to develop those relationships so people will have the desire to come in and believe that the money. I think I read somewhere that God does not give us give us more money to increase our standard of living. That He gives us more money to increase our standard of giving.
Wow.
And you know, bottom
I like
line,
that.
that is really
Yes.
because the truth of the matter is, it's only what we do for others is
You're
going to
right.
last anyway.
You're right.
And that's why I wanted to start this not-for-profit, was because I wanted to leave a legacy. You know.
I want to take a break. We're going to go to our commercial break, but when we come back, I want
Okay.
us to pick that back up when you
Okay.
talk about relationship
Okay.
building,
Okay.
because I think that's something that a lot of nonprofits fail to do, which is why they don't last. They are not sustained because they're out there trying to do it alone. But I want us to focus a little bit on building relationship. How do you do it,
Okay.
and how do you recommend other people go about it? We want to thank Ms. Tillie for being here on this first segment. I tell you, as you see, she's full of energy. This is her all the time. You know, this is not just for the show, but she is wonderful. And I tell you that we're looking forward to the second half of this program to talk further with her. And before we go, we would like to thank our sponsors,
Yes.
particularly the sponsor of this episode, Sip for Your Cause. And
Yes.
we ask that you please visit them at www.sipforyourcause.org. They are the ones who
Yes.
contribute to make this opportunity possible, to increase the awareness, the sustainability, and ultimately the impact of nonprofit organizations. So thank you. Please, we'll see you right after the break.
Does your son need a more challenging, focused, and encouraging educational environment? Renaissance Christian Academy is an affordable private school for boys located in McDonough, Georgia, with certified teachers that are uniquely equipped to help your son master learning. You're welcome to schedule a tour of our facilities by calling 770-305-9881 or by visiting our website at rcaboysacademy.org. Renaissance Christian Academy, developing young men to be great leaders through Christ-centered learning.
What happens when soldiers come home? Brene Foundation offers hero support to ensure that our heroes abroad can continue to be heroes at home. We link veterans with organizations who are dedicated to guiding the transition from military hero to civilian hero. If you want to find out how you can support our troops at home, please contact the Brene Foundation or visit brene.com.
Welcome back. We are so appreciative of all of our sponsors, and we ask that you please support them as you see their logos and their contact information. So again, we thank them, and again, especially Sip for Your Cause, we thank them for being our episode sponsor. We would like to continue this second segment with Ms. Tillie. I know you've thoroughly enjoyed her. We always enjoy her, and we're going to continue about relationship. We talked about the fact that you can't do it alone, and therefore you talked about and you mentioned some of those who sponsor you. So talk about just some of them, and what I want you to do and share is how do you develop effective relationships?
Well, first we have to develop that relationship with our client, and for them to trust that we know what we would do, and that we're doing what we do out of love for them, because we want to help to improve the quality of life for them and for their children and for their family. I have to just say this, because I believe that if you help a woman and to be successful, then she conveys that information to her children and to the community. So by helping a woman, you can really help the world. So I said that to say that one of the things that we know is that I have a paid staff about seven women, and we have a curriculum, 6-week curriculum, Monday through Friday from 9 until 4:30, which requires the support and facilitation of about 25 or 30 presenters who are experts from the community in their field. And if we had to pay all of these people, and you know what teachers and principals, people who are skilled and educators receive per hour, if we had to pay these people to come in to do the work, we would have to close our doors. And not only that, they hire, we got employers, and I don't want to just name, but we have lots of employers that when our women graduate from the program, they come to us and say, I would like to have one of your women or some of your women to come and fill out an application, because we have a demonstrated record that when they hire our women, that they know what an employer expects from a high performer, because we are like a boot camp. So we ask them to come to Every Woman Works for 6 weeks every day, but we expect them to be on time, we expect them to dress for success, and we expect them to treat each other with respect. So we work on the whole woman. So if you're sick or your children are sick, then you can't get to work. And if you can't get to work, you will be fired. We know that coming through. And so we work on the whole woman, but you also have to believe in yourself. So if you go in with a low self-esteem, then you walk, talk, act like, and treat other people with disrespect. But I got to get back to your question about the relationships, because the companies that come alongside us to support us are also they have people from their organization to teach our classes. And at the end of the session, in order to graduate, you have to pass what we call the mock interview. So the mock interview consists of having a professional resume and be able to pass any kind of an interview. Do you know those companies like GE, LexisNexis, Kimberly-Clark, Keller Williams, they actually have our women to go to their location, all dressed for success, pass through their security in order to have a mock interview to simulate the real thing. So Nash, if you can pass that kind of a interview, you don't have a problem.
Ms. Tillie, you know, one thing you said, and I hope you caught and already took note on it, and if you need to, please revisit this interview. But you said that relationship starts with building the trust with the client. Now, let me tell you, I'm going to tell you, that's a different perspective than I've heard. But as you've explained it, it makes sense. You know, we oftentimes think that it's in the nonprofit sector that starting that relationship or going out trying to get the relationship with the corporate sponsor or you know, those type backers. But no, you've got to build it with the client first. So then that sponsor can
Yes.
then buy
Yes.
into what
Yes.
you're doing.
Yes.
I like that.
Well, let me just expand
Yes.
upon that a little
Yes.
bit because of the universe of women that we serve. We do not have a living facilities.
Okay.
So we are like a classroom or a university
Yeah.
or what. They come from 9 to 5, but they come from transitional housing.
Okay.
They come from recovery centers. They come from being sequestered away, like
Yes.
Partners Against Domestic Violence. So they come to us because they need to move away from those facilities. And when they graduate from the program, if they do not have a
Wow.
job, if they are not self-sufficient, it becomes just
Yes.
they'll go to another transition. So we have to build that relationship with our clients. But number one is that if we did not have the clients, we wouldn't have a reason for
Yeah.
being. We are in business to meet their needs. So we teach and treat our clients with respect. In other words, we teach them what it means to be an empowered woman, a woman of self-confidence, believing in yourself, and there's nothing impossible for you, only what you can conceive in your mind.
Yeah.
So that's,
Going
so
back
we-
to that
back to
reprogramming.
that reprogramming.
Yeah.
And so we start with the women. Well, we have to build relationships with the organizations that they come from to believe that we will help move them and help them to move to self-sufficiency.
Yes.
Or they wouldn't send them to our program. It would be a waste of
Wow.
time.
And you've just shared that you actually have on the front end relationship during the process, and then on the outcome side of that. I would strongly encourage you to take note and again revisit your organization wherever you are. That front end relationship, that dynamic relationship during the process, and then that outcome. Who are you bridging with? So that it just doesn't stop with you. It's not about you and your organization, but it's about those relationships that make that whole person
Yes.
addressed.
Yes.
I appreciate that. I tell you, Miss Tillie, there's something else I want to move into because
Okay.
it takes in that whole concept of what you're talking about, the whole person.
The whole person.
Now, one thing I know that you have transitioned into not too long ago.
Yes.
But I tell you, have been successful in such a short period of time with it. And I'm just amazed at what the overall purpose of it.
Okay.
Anybody walking up
Okay.
and participating, and I know I'm being vague because I
Okay,
want her to share it
okay,
with
all
you.
right.
But anybody walking up and engaging in what you're going to share
Yeah.
might miss the point
Oh, okay.
and
All right.
purpose for
Okay.
why this exists.
Okay.
What I'm asking about and what I want her to share
Okay.
with you is the Bee Boutique.
Okay.
And I want you to explain to them what the Bee
Okay.
Boutique is about.
Okay, all
and
right.
its purpose.
Well, I have to kind of back into this.
Okay.
Because we are responsible for helping to put women to work.
Yes.
And we do not want them just to have just a job. We want them to have a career, to start work where they can be there for a while and to build a career.
Yes.
So what I found is retail is the biggest industry, right?
Right.
And that most of the high-end retail will not hire you if you do not have experience. Go figure. She will not hire you if you do not have
Right,
experience.
right.
So being
Like
a
people,
big-
I'm sorry, I got to put, don't
Go
forget
ahead,
that.
go
But
ahead.
so I'm always amazed that people won't give you credit because you don't have
You don't
credit.
have experience.
But go
Exactly,
ahead.
same principle.
Right, right.
So being the visionary that I am, what can I do to solve this problem? Well, we have all of these women who go into their closets and pull out these gently used purses and shoes and heels, and they bring them to Every Woman Works for Dress for Success, because we teach women how to create a professional image.
Yeah.
Well, it's a God thing, right?
Yeah.
So I found out that there are a lot of not-for-profits that take their they call them thrift stores, but because we're kind of the high end,
Right.
gently used
Right.
resale, we call it the Bee Boutique.
Yeah.
So I got this vision that what we were going to do is that I'm going to put together an assessment for women who have the skills and are interested in retail and customer service. You got to have a knack to be,
Yes.
customer service,
Yes. Yes.
expressive
Yes.
person if you
Yes.
want to be out there to be a good customer
right.
service person. So we wanted to do an assessment, but do you know I found that there's a program that's called 60 weeks 60 weeks, and it's called National Certification.
Okay.
Meaning I could go anywhere in the world after I'm certified to do retail and customer service. And then it's a 5-hour certification workshop. And then in order to say that you have had experience, even though you have the certification, you have to work as a customer service retail person. So B Boutique then give them an opportunity to go down to the B Boutique and work, and we pay them.
Wow.
And so in order to pay for their certification, in order to pay them a salary, so if you're going to start at a high-end store, you want to at least start making more than $10 an hour.
Okay.
Well, guess who found out about us? TJX.
Wow.
So they and Miss Kay Evans is also loved to be boutiques and shopping. So she believed in us. They gave us the money to the foundation for starting this B Boutique. TJX sent managers over to show us how to set it up so it can look like a mini TJX or a Macy's.
Okay.
And I know your wife visited the
Yes,
place
yes,
and
yes.
had wonderful things to
Yes,
say. Did she say
yes.
she was going to come back and go shopping?
Let me tell you, I was just waiting for her to give me an opportunity to mention it. But we did have an opportunity to visit the B Boutique, and that's why I say go in there. If she didn't share with you what their vision is and the purpose behind it, you wouldn't know it. You would just think it was another means of earning some money for the nonprofit organization. But I'm telling you, and that's at this point I'm going to ask you to give the address so they can get there.
All right.
But I want you to understand this. You heard her say she didn't use the term thrift store to describe the B Boutique.
It's a boutique.
And
yes.
I'm telling you guys, it truly is. My wife and I walked inside and our jaws literally dropped. You know, we were expecting thrift, but it's a boutique. I mean, the finest of clothes, name brand,
yes.
you know, prices
Yes,
out of
yes,
this world.
yes.
And my wife even said she's coming back,
She
that
did.
she's going to come back for an
did.
evening gown. I
Yeah.
think she and Andrea were looking at.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is that I'm telling you, they're quality material, not material, but quality clothing. They're shoes,
purses, scarves,
accessories.
jewelry, after 5.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you're a curvaceous woman like myself, you don't have to worry about fitting into a 9 or 10. We got, clothing for curvaceous women, dress for success, special.
Yeah, I saw B curvaceous or B sexy.
Everything
sexy.
is B.
Yeah,
B.
Yeah.
Everything B special, B professional.
Guys, this is a great concept. It is an awesome concept. I'm telling you, you will enjoy it. You will appreciate it. I mean, high-end clothing
Thank you, yes.
that you would love to have an opportunity
Gently
to wear.
used.
Oh,
Some still have the price tags
I was
on
about to
them.
say,
Yeah,
gently used. Some
yeah.
look like none,
But
never
Nash,
used.
I have to say that women in the community that supports our
Yes.
organization go into their closet and says, I'm going to donate these clothes and things to Miss Tillie so she can keep the business going, so she can have an inventory that she can make a profit and put it back into serving the women.
Well, they're
Every
doing
penny
it.
that we have that come in through that B Boutique, we put it back in to running the Every Woman Works business.
Tell them how they can get to the B Boutique.
Well, we are located, first we have an Atlanta address.
Okay.
It's 100 Hanover Park Road, Suite 200. But we're located in Sandy Springs. But the address is Atlanta, Georgia, 30350. And check us out. Check our website out. You can even check the B Boutique out on the Facebook, the B Boutique Facebook. But we also www.everywomanworks.org. You can go to our website, which there's a link to our Facebooks that you can connect to.
I
Yeah.
tell you, the B Boutique is just a wonderful place for you to go. I would encourage you,
Yes.
if you're looking for professional dress and just
Yes.
great attire,
Yeah.
visit it. And I will
Please.
assure you that it will
Please.
become a regular place of yours, and you will
Please.
spread the word and share with your lady friends and your parents, your mothers, So please visit them at 100 Hanover Park Road.
Yeah.
And I assure you, you will not be disappointed. You will be amazed.
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I got to thank you because do you know that Every Woman Works, and including the B Boutique, is the best kept secret.
I can. I
It
believe
is the best kept secret, and I know that we're going to be working with you and Pam for that to no longer be the case. But at this time, there's not a lot of people that know about Every Woman Works and the Bee Boutique, and so thank you so much for the opportunity
you're
to get the
more than
word out.
welcome.
We appreciate
and
it.
And let me tell you, and she's just segmented well, really to a closing, and I don't want to end. But I really want you to know, guys, you know you can watch us on Roku, and again, that's over 10 million viewers. So we ask that you spread the word.
Please.
Remember to go, and you will eventually be able to get to the BizLinks channel, BizLinks TV channel on Roku directly. But go to her tube channel, and you'll be able to access our programs and shows there. But also visit our website at www.bizlinks.tv. Also visit our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/BizLinks TV. You will be able to catch all of our shows, and especially our Let's Talk Nonprofits. But for the very reason that Ms. Tillie just said, because we want to bring increased awareness,
Thank you.
funding,
Thank you.
sustainability,
Thank you.
and
Yes.
ultimately impact to organizations such as the Every Woman Works. And I would tell you before we go, anything else you would just like to share?
Just
Upcoming events.
Upcoming
Yes.
events. We have what we call one of our largest and most productive fundraiser is Stars Dancing to Change Lives.
Okay.
And we're really working on getting people like Ludacris and
Okay.
Tyler Perry, so we can. But we really are quite successful in. We have one coming up on May the 16th, and we've combined that with our 10th year anniversary.
Wow.
So May the 16th, we're going to have Stars Dancing to Change Lives, and we're going to also combine that with our 10th year anniversary. So we will have representative of our students from 2004 each year. We'll have students coming back, and we decided we'll do a takeoff of Oprah. After 10 years, she has a
Yes.
show called Where Are They Now?
Yes.
And we often wonder, where are they now?
Yes.
So we'll have some of the alumni from, and I think it's alumni when it's women, coming back from 2004 until to the present, 2014.
May 16th,
May the
2015.
16th. Yes.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
Again, on their website eventually. If it's not there, correct me, but you'll be able to join their mailing list.
Yeah.
Okay, join their mailing list so that you can stay abreast of all of the upcoming events, to learn how you can get involved and participate in such a great work. And I hope you heard. Now, she said Every Woman Works. Yes, but you heard if you have a specialty about women
Yes.
in particular needs. Would you repeat those?
I was
areas?
just saying that sometimes, you have an affinity
Yes.
to maybe women in recovery
Yes.
or women who are going through domestic violence and
Right.
need to reclaim themselves, or women who gone to, they've lost their jobs and
Right.
they're displaced and they have a low self-esteem, because a lot of times we identify with our jobs.
Yes.
So if you have an affinity to support and help women, who are returning citizens too, because we support women who have gone to prison because of this
Okay.
drug thing.
Yes.
A lot of
Yeah.
that, it was a dramatically increase in the number of women going to prison because of drugs,
Yes.
and now they're coming out,
Yes.
and they need places like Every Woman Works, and they need women and support like you to make it happen.
Yes. So, guys, you've heard, if you have an interest or a passion or
Yes.
concern for that, or an affinity for that particular woman's
Yeah.
experience, please reach out to everywomanwork.org. And Ms. Tillie and her team are there to show you how to get involved. We want to thank you for
Thank
tuning
you.
in
Yes.
with us in this episode of Let's Talk
Yes.
Nonprofits. Ms. Tillie, again, we thank you for
And
being
thank
here,
you. Thank
making
you.
this a great, or you're
Thank
more
you.
than welcome,
Yes.
making this a great episode. And we look forward to seeing you again as we continue to share nonprofit best practices to help your organization improve, as you hear the thought leaders and the experts in the industries that will help your organization grow, increase its awareness, sustain itself, and ultimately increase its impact. So again, as SIP for Your Cause initiative always puts forth, this SIP's for you.